Hey guys, Stealth here. It's Monday, so it's time for the War Room, and I hope that you're all going to start off your week with a good day. For me anyway, Monday is usually the most productive day. I'm not really sure why, but it's probably because in the weekend I usually don't do that much. And Monday I start to feel guilty about not having done anything, not being productive, not making money, etc. And then I decide, oh crap, I need to get productive, I need to do something. So that's usually why my Monday is a lot more productive than other days. For me, it's even so that I had Monday. I've been very, very productive. Let's say reached out to new clients, made some new videos for you guys, possibly mentored someone on Wargame, got a few bits and pieces done of grinding and Armored Warfare. And then Tuesday comes along and I'm like, oh, Tuesday? Okay. I was so productive yesterday. Nah, I can slack off again today. Of course, that's not really the right option. But anyway, that's how it works for me. Maybe that's completely different for you. Let me know how that is in the comments. Because I'm a freelancer. I don't really get to talk to that many people since I work from home. So, let me know how that is for you. Is Monday a productive day for you? Or are you just slacking off Monday, getting back into the week? What's it like for you? Anyway, lots happened this week, at least for my channel. I set up the Patreon campaign, which I gotta say got a lot of attention, and I'm very, very happy and thankful for the current Patreons. If you'd like to become a patron, link to that in the description down below. And of course, if you donate a specific amount, that's $5 for having a game together and $10 for me reviewing your gameplay footage. You can always reach out to me that way and make sure that you absolutely, totally get into a game with me. Because otherwise, it might be a bit hard. The Discord server, which is, let's say, the TeamSpeak server that I have set up for my channel, is usually pretty full. And the moment that I get into a room there to start up a new lobby or new game in Red Dragon, I usually get swamped, which I enjoy. But it means that it's more difficult for you to get into a game with me. So if you'd like some mentoring on Wargame Red Dragon, make sure to reach out through my Patreon campaign and we can definitely have a game together. Other than that, I have another very, very good coaching session coming up for you guys Wednesday. It's a guy who wanted to train attacking and defending, and I think he'll enjoy it. It's a pretty long episode, about an hour long. And attacking and defending for most newer players is definitely still a more difficult thing, so that's what we're there to train. But all of that Wednesday. As I was saying, a lot have happened for the channel. I've not only set up the Patreon campaign, but also set up a Steam group, which I believe has something along the lines of 230 members, something like that currently. It's just a place where you can hang out, build your Steam friends list, build your Wargame friends list, find more people to play with, link up with those people on the Discord server, which is, let's say, my TeamSpeak variant. I was thinking about that, by the way. Discord, there's not really another name, I suppose you could say, for a TeamSpeak server. You just call it a TeamSpeak or a TS, but actually it's a VoiceCom server, so let's just call Discom a VoiceCom server from now on. Anyway, that thing has also been set up, quite a few people on. I believe that so far there have been 55, 60 logins so far from people. There's usually 8 to 10 people on, and I'm really aiming to build that community further. So if you haven't joined in, if you haven't logged into that server yet, don't forget it's not only for Wargame Red Dragon, it's also for Armored Warfare and other games you might enjoy playing. If you have a specific game that you'd like to me to set up a specific chat room or talk room for you, let me know. Just send me a direct message through the Discord server and I'll add the room so you can just hang out with your buddies right there on the Discord. Other than that, I've been doing, of course, the necessary amount of Red Dragon videos. I've been doing a bit of Armored Warfare, and for the rest I've pretty much been doing Just Cause 3, which is something that I haven't really shown off. Part of that is because I'm not really sure if it's something you would enjoy, and it's also part to my graphics card not really being able to run a game that seems to really challenge it graphically. while at the same time trying to record a video. And Red Dragon doesn't really seem to have that problem. But the game like Just Cause, which has a very, very high frame rate and a very high amount of textures going on, that really does seem to struggle. So, if that is something that you would like me to show off on the channel, let me know, and I'll consider making a video about it. Just upvote yes for Just Cause 3 down in the comments, and I'll know that you would like to see some stuff about that. If you're not familiar with it, Just Cause 3, you play a guy, I believe I mentioned it before as well, a sort of mix between all sorts of superheroes, all formed into one ideal rebel liberator person. It's very, very much over the top, and that's what I enjoy about it, frankly. War game can tend to get really, really serious. I'm pretty damn serious about Armored Warfare 2, although it's a little bit less intense than Red Dragon usually. And Just Cause is just a nice, let's say a nice addition or a nice way to blow off steam. So, if that's something you enjoy, just upvote yes to Just Cause 3 in the comments and I'll consider making a video about that. Other than that, of course, I've been playing Command, Modern Naval and Air Operations, or CMANO. I gotta say, I'm still getting into it, and especially the naval scenario that I'm running right now, which is the Northern Inferno campaign. I already managed to lose one ship there in episode 2, and hopefully that's going to be the last of them. But those Soviet submarines are posing quite a bit of a threat. And as someone pointed out, I'm not really using the ships as best I should. Ships have both an active and a passive sonar array. An active sonar array is going to tell them exactly where the target could be, if you're close enough. Passive sonar array is not sending out any sonar signals, but just listening and trying to get the submarine on the sonar that way. But I was rushing in with my ships. And rushing in means you're going at a very high pace, very high speed. High speed means it's less likely for you to detect other units because you're making so much noise yourself. Now, having read books and thrillers and fiction about submarines for pretty much the last, 10 years, I think? God, I'm getting old. Yeah, for the last 10 years, I should know all that stuff. So, that was a big mistake, and I'll definitely be sure to adjust that in the next episode. Other than that, of course, we have European Escalation, which I gotta say, I'm really finding interesting. I'm not really sure about you guys, but I find the AI quite a bit better than what we have in Red Dragon. Red Dragon, the AI just seems to spam, and either I haven't been able to discern that pattern yet, or the AI just doesn't seem to spam that much in European Escalation. Also, storytelling is quite a bit better. Wargame Red Dragon has just a bit of a sort of, let's say, warm-up scenario, or let's say the Second Korean War. It's just, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, and bang, you're getting invaded. Just like that. Whereas European Escalation is really going, okay guys, this is the story, this is how we got to where we are right now. And with the cinematics, I think it makes the game quite a bit better. So I, for one, hope that something like that is also going to be in the next wargame. Talking about the next wargame, I have sent Mad Matt, maybe you know of the guy. He's a pretty big buff or moderator on the forums of Eugen. I sent him a private message telling him that all of you guys want an answer about the next wargame. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. But I'm hoping that this way I can get you some information about what's going on with the next wargame, if there is going to be a next wargame. Of course, we had that little bit of teaser trailer in, I think it was Active Aggression, where there was supposedly a billboard announcing Wargame 4. So, rumor has it Wargame 4 is coming, and I expect it to come at some stage. I'm not sure it's going to be this year. I think they would have promoted it left and right if it would be this year. So I think that until 2016, or sorry, we're in 2016, until 2017, that sounds so far away, until 2017 we are probably going to be, let's just say, stuck with this game. I don't think we're getting another wargame. Of course, there are other strategy games coming out, with XCOM 2 coming to mind for me. Not sure about other titles, but if you know something about that and you have a very interesting strategy game that you're looking forward to, let me know, and I'll consider putting that out on the channel. It's not that I'm getting bored of Red Dragon, but at some point I think that I have covered absolutely everything there is to cover. All sorts of pushes, all sorts of decks, all sorts of gameplay. Of course, there's still the zombie variant, but I think we can do more with Red Dragon. So if you have any ways to keep Red Dragon interesting, leave me a note in the comments and I'll see if I can make a cool video out of it for you. Anyway, not only been enjoying the games and recording videos for you guys, but also been watching quite a bit of Netflix lately. And I think a couple months back I started watching Blacklist, which, if you're not familiar with it, small synopsis: the main characters are an FBI agent and one of the, let's say, US or one of the world's most wanted criminals. The most wanted criminal decides to come in, as in he's going to bring himself into the FBI and he's going to help them track down other top criminals. Why is not exactly certain, but it's definitely not by the kindness of his heart. There's a lot more going on there. And that criminal always knows how to manipulate the people around him in some way so that they do exactly what he wants them to do. Which you might say is not always exactly an admirable quality, but he gets the job done. Anyway, I started watching that a couple months ago, and I have a dual setup for monitors. So usually if I have a game that doesn't take up my full attention, and no, that's absolutely not Wargame. Wargame takes up my full attention. But let's say something like Armored Warfare or World of Warships that I was playing a few months ago. Something like that doesn't really take up my full attention. So on the second monitor I was running Blacklist. And I thought after one or two episodes, okay, this is something that I do not have to watch on my second screen. This is something that deserves my full attention. So, started watching it with my girlfriend a couple of days ago, and we've been hooked ever since. So, absolutely recommend that thing if you are interested in, let's say, I wouldn't exactly call it CSI type of material, but let's say criminal psychology slash thriller slash mystery might not be the right term to describe it. I really wouldn't know how to classify that. Anyway, The Blacklist. Great show on Netflix currently. Something else that I have been meaning to mention as a show that I'm watching and that you might also enjoy is The Last Ship. It's one of those, oh my god, the world has died to a virus scenarios. But unlike normally where you see a group of survivors as the main characters, you're following one of the ships of the Navy that was sent out into the Arctic to find a possible cure, or at least to find a specific something in the ground. They don't even know what they were looking for, except for a few people on that ship. They were asked to maintain full radio silence for 4 months, so they have absolutely no idea what's going on in the rest of the world. They have gone completely dark. And then, after that period of time, they make contact with the rest of the world and find that, I believe it's Norfolk or Annapolis, is not responding to anything. In fact, a lot of the world isn't responding to anything. And that's what kicks off quite the adventure with all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Surrounding, mostly, a US Arleigh Burke class destroyer. So I suppose you could say that the Arleigh Burke itself is definitely one of the main characters, and I really enjoy that show. It may not always be accurate or fully accurate or as good as I would like it to be from a naval perspective, but it's not bad, and it was supposedly created with the collaboration of the US Navy, who wouldn't sign off on anything that's not completely, or that's not too far from the truth. So they managed to keep the show honest, keep the show fair, and I think that that is definitely something that you could enjoy. Anyway, I'll link to a trailer in the description so you can see exactly what kind of show it is and whether it's good for you, but I would definitely recommend it. Last thing I wanted to talk about this week is something that I have seen, of course, and I'm not the only one, we've all seen this happen in online games, whether it's World of Tanks, Red Dragon, Armored Warfare, whatever kind of game you're playing. It's not taking responsibility and blaming others. I'm not going to go all philosophical on you and lecture you on how you should and shouldn't behave in online games. That's completely up to you. But the strangest thing happened to me a few days ago in Armored Warfare. I was doing a tier 4 battle, which is a pretty low tier. There were a few tier 5s in the game and I was one of them. And my tier 5, I managed to get it destroyed. Sorry, no, it was the BMP 1P review. That's what the video was for. I died pretty quickly, and that part was actually on the video. It was the video where the Fox bumped into me. Now, the Fox was clearly a more experienced player, or at least he considered himself as such. And we had a main battle tank camping in the back, which of course is never really a good thing. And you see that in whatever type of game that you're going to be playing. Camping in Red Dragon is still an issue, but it's a bit less of an issue. You don't have someone, let's say if this is the map, you don't have them camping with all their forces here in Whiskey. It just wouldn't make sense. What you will see are people in main battle tanks in World of Tanks and Armored Warfare camping in the back. So this guy started flaming, I believe it was a T-64. And I went, okay, listen, we're doing a tier 4 game, so this guy is probably just getting into the game. He managed to get himself a T-64, and he's just trying to learn how to work it. If you have any commentary on this guy, that's fine, but at least make it positive. Don't go flaming, you noob, you know absolutely nothing, go back to playing Legos, which we've all seen. But tell the guy where he should be taking his tank, how he should be setting it up, whether or not he should be angling it, and how exactly he should be conducting himself in a battle like that. And then the strangest thing happened. I thought I was going to get flamed over by this guy, because, hey, come on, it's the internet. But that didn't actually happen. The guy said, oh, yeah, never actually looked at it that way, you're right. I was like, what? This guy is claiming I'm right? I mean, I believe I'm right, but it's so hard for people to say that you're right. Anyway, the guy said I was a nice and positive person, which of course is always a nice compliment, and he proceeded to lay off on the T-64. He didn't flame anymore. Didn't tell him what to do either, but the point that I'm trying to make is when you see someone who's not doing that well, try to help them in some way. And in Wargame, for example, I'm doing that through mentoring newer players. I'm not going, oh my god, you're terrible at the game, get out of here. If we would do that, there just wouldn't be a Red Dragon community before long. There would just not be that many people. If we all had a attitude that was as acid or as sour as that. Instead, I'm trying to welcome as many new people into the game, because, let's face it, Red Dragon is a tough game to get into. Armored Warfare, I suppose you could say it's a little bit less tough, it's a little bit easier to get into. I'm not saying it's an easy game, but some people who haven't had experience with World of Tanks or other games, they just don't really know exactly how to behave with their tank, how to position it, how to use it. Same probably goes for, I don't know, League of Legends. I don't personally play it, but half the internet and then some seem to be playing that game. There's probably plenty of flaming going on there. Call of Duty, I don't know. I, again, don't play it, but from some of the YouTube compilations that I see every now and then, I'm going, oh my god, I don't even want to be a part of that. So if you have someone who's not yet completely versed in the game, and you think that you know what you're doing, just give them a hand. Tell them what they could be doing, how they could be improving, and don't be a smartass about it. Don't go, oh my god, you're doing it wrong. Just go, dude, if you want to be a little bit more effective, you want to get more XP, move forward about 50 meters, and you're going to get more spotting damage done. Stuff like that is something people may have never considered, and I gotta say it's refreshing. I have not really seen it happen a lot in online games. Now, it ties in pretty closely to the matter of taking responsibility for your own gameplay. And that's something that other people don't seem to be really doing either. All too often, I've had people in Armored Warfare, in World of Tanks, in, well, not so much Red Dragon, but games like that. They manage to go off on their own, and then they die pretty horribly and pretty quickly. I mean, what are you going to expect? It's okay that they go down, but don't start blaming me for your failure. Let's be very, very clear about that. I always try to educate them on that. Might be a bit naive of me, might be a bit a bit too optimistic. But I always go, dude, if you hadn't gotten off on your own, we wouldn't be trying to save your ass, or we wouldn't need to have to save you from all of this trouble that you got yourself into. Or if you would just have had the, let's say, the awareness of reading the micromap or the minimap to see that you're off on your own, maybe it's not the right course of action to just keep pushing and start blaming us, because you got yourself into this position, not me. And of course that doesn't only go for gaming, that goes for other stuff as well. In fact, my brother-in-law has this a lot, and I really despise him for it, because he's always thinking something happens to him and not because of him. And that's not really the way that I look at the world. Yes, we're going off a bit philosophical, sorry about that. But then again, that's what the war room is for. The way that I look at stuff is that for the major part, you are going to be responsible for what you do, and you're in a position where you are because you did something, or didn't do something. For example, as a freelancer, I have full freedom of time and space of where I work, when I work, and how I get my clients. That's something that I didn't easily gain. It's something that you have to pick. It's something that you have to work for. At the same time, if I have a few months where I don't have that much income, there's no one else to blame but me. I cannot go over to the neighbor and say, dude, get me some money because I haven't made any. It's not my problem. This is something for you to fix. And that's something that I think not that many people do. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy, because it's accepting that you are, let's say, the sole beneficiary and the sole responsible person for your actions, for what you do, and for what happens to you and with you. I believe it was Jack Sparrow from the pirate movies who once said, it's not, the problem isn't the problem, the way that you look at the problem is the problem. And that's pretty much exactly what this is about. The way that you look at stuff like that, whether you think that something is happening to you or because of you, or that you have any kind of influence on it, that's going to have a massive impact in the way that you go through life. And I'm not only talking wargame, I'm talking actual life. So let's say that you do terrible in a game of wargame. You have a team 4v4, somehow you do absolutely terrible. There's basically two ways you can go about saying, okay, Jesus, my team was absolutely atrocious. They didn't give me the help. They didn't give me the AA when I needed it. They didn't respond to my calls for help. No, maybe. But that's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to play their own game. You are responsible for your flank, and if you cannot hold it, that's fine. Retreat to a more favorable position. If you lose a game, and you lose quite terribly, let's say you got a lot of losses, the best way is not to say, damn it, I screwed up, but damn it, I screwed up, what happened, and how can I change that? And that's the same thing that I try to do pretty much every day. Every day I'm trying to go over, okay, what went right, what went wrong, how can I do the things that I did well even better, and how can I avoid screwing up in the future? It's a discipline that I've developed, and I'm hoping that you guys do that too, or could consider doing it too, because it really helps me, and it makes me so that I know that what happens happens at least because I either decided to let it happen or didn't do anything not to make it happen, if that makes sense. Anyway, I think that's enough preaching for this episode of the War Room. Let me know what you think about discussing topics like that, because it's the first that I'm doing it here. It's not suitable material for a wargame video, but it is definitely suitable for a video such as the War Room. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, about taking responsibility not only for yourself in Wargammer Dragon or whatever other game you're playing, but also for other stuff. Let's say bigger life stuff. Anyway, with that, it's the end of the War Rooms video for at least this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I have some very important events coming up this week that you'll probably hear about more next week, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, be sure to visit the Discord server, join the Steam group, have a look at the Patreon campaign, see if it's something you'd like to support. I'm trying to get more videos out, and that's exactly why I need that support from you for the Patreon campaign. So if it's something that you'd like to see, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, please have a look at the Patreon and see if it's something that you'd like to support. Other than that, there's nothing else for me to do but wish you a very good week. Hope you have a good Monday. I know for some people it's the worst day of the week. For me, it's usually the most productive. And other than that, I'll see you either on the Discord, in the Steam group, in the comments, or in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.